Let's talk to Adam in Florida. Adam, you're live with Eric and Drag. What would you like to talk about today?
Hey, hi.
How you doing?
Am I? Oh, good. Good. Okay. Very nice. I've been enjoying your show for a long time now, probably since the beginning, and all the other great shows at the Atheist Experience. But I really hope you can help me out here. I have an issue with my my wife. Is it okay if I give you just a quick 2-minute brief of where I'm at and a big?
I don't know if it's that kind of show.
I am not married, so I can grossly speculate. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It's probably not a complete uncommon story. But I was married last October, so recently. I've known this lady since 2012. She's Roman Catholic. She's not religious, and she's not even a fan of the church, to be honest. We've talked about religion in the past. I'm atheist, by the way, but it never really seemed to be something that was worth our conversation. It just never really came up.
Right.
You know, she wasn't religious. She did believe in God, and I, I'm not a big fan of that, but she's very private about it. She doesn't proselytize. She's not wanting to make her book law. She's not even wanting to brainwash children, colloquially what we call Sunday school. Okay, now, fast forward to last month, and, wait, let me just sprinkle a little more shit into this hot pot of holy crap, holy. She's now interested in the Bible, and I'm very excited about that because I love to read the Bible. I just don't believe the Bible.
Sure.
And I thought it'd be great because we could, it'd actually be an opportunity for her to, look more closely at her faith and see the crazy BS that's, most people look the other way on.
Mm-hmm.
But anyhow, now she's telling me she believes every word of the Bible.
Really?
So this is my issue. It's a big issue.
Yeah.
We don't share the same reality. I'm sorry.
Would you say that she believes that she's a biblical literalist? Is that what I want to make sure I understand. Is she just...
No, yeah, she doesn't really. See, I have to give her some slack because I know she doesn't really know the Bible much. And I think it's her faith. She was brought up in a country that's very Catholic, and I think it's her faith that is overriding her, that logic area in our brain that gets shut down. But she says she believes the Bible, but, I have to give her a little credit for, she doesn't really probably know the Bible that well.
Okay.
So there are a couple places, but I think I would be remiss if I did not begin this by saying there's nothing that we're going to say that's going to take the place of couples counseling. Bar none. There's nothing that we're going to say that's going to take the place of having an experienced mediator who can understand the nuances of your relationship and the history that you have together to help you work through that. That said, I can give some generic advice that has worked for me, but I cannot guarantee it's going to work for you. And I don't want to be responsible for damaging your marriage. So with that said,
right.
I found that I statements work best in these situations. So let's say there's something that's very flippantly mentioned that is hurtful. If your response is, you did a hurtful thing, it can cause them to be on the defense and it can escalate into an argument. But if the response is instead, hey, I was actually really hurt by this thing that happened, then they can separate themselves from the thing that they said and objectively look and go, okay, I hurt someone I love. And, I can determine whether or not that's an action I want to repeat again in the future. That said, other advice that I have is going to be just as generic. It's going to be one where if this is happening with your wife right now, then, if it's something that you've established and you can be transparent, I would definitely continue to be transparent. If it's something that you feel communication would be difficult, then again, I really highly suggest you find a couples counselor. It would be, I think it says a lot.
Does that really work though? I mean, is there any statistical evidence that people who go, it does? Okay.
Well, yeah. I could say anecdotally because my wife is not an atheist, but she's not a Christian, right? But she has a kind of fluctuating set of beliefs where she kind of floats in between sometimes agnosticism, towards maybe some Wiccan beliefs sometimes, and she just kind of floats. You know what, she described herself as a free spirit. I don't know what that is, but you know what, there's things that she wants to research and she's curious, and I encourage that, even though I think some of the things are stupid. But there exists in a relationship, any long-term relationship, where there's sacrifice and there's balance. There, you need to be honest with her. Don't not just call out her beliefs are stupid, but to say, look, I get it. Let's encourage this. I want you to feel secure with where you are and your ideas. But I also want to draw hard lines, especially when it comes to children. I'll give you my child as an example. I purposely keep my atheism stuff away from him, right? I encourage critical thinking. And then it's my hope that because I equip him with a active mind that is constantly questioning and is constantly skeptical, that he will kind of evaluate the world similarly to me. But I don't want to preclude him from the religious aspect of his family or beliefs his mother may have, right? And so it's mutually agreed upon that no one is to indoctrinate said child. That is the agreement. If that's violated, then we need to sit down and have a real talk. But until then, things are absolutely fine. And I don't think that you should worry too much, because that hasn't been a real big issue in my relationship, because we've been very honest with each other, and then we limit the sort of things we want to impose upon one another. So I give you an example of a little bit of sacrifice. I am against teaching kids, Santa Claus is going to bring you coal and not going to get you presents unless you're a good little boy and girl. I think there are better vehicles to instill morality into children other than lie to them. But my grandparents and my mother are fully invested in the Santa Claus and the elf on the shelf and the magic and all that nonsense. And so I allow that to
you can't stop
a degree. No, well, I could just throw the elf in the trash, but I'm not going to do that, right? It's a little bit too much. So I think this is kind of where there's some give and take, right? And I think that's something that needs to be kind of discussed very, very openly, very clearly, so that you both are on the same page.
Right, I get that, and I get the couple counseling, the I statements. It all makes sense on paper, but my issue is that, first of all, she was indoctrinated. That makes it a little more difficult. I don't want to be the person, the agent of change. I don't want to be that person that convinces her that her foundational beliefs are incorrect. She needs to be convinced on her own, sort of a straight epistemology approach, but it can't come from me, even that, in my mind, because it's just going to be something in the back of her mind that's going to always be there. And I don't, I think, I don't know who said, maybe Matt, that, you can't really change your beliefs. You believe what you believe, your set of facts is you can mend and bend to any way you want them, and those are your beliefs. So I'm not really convinced. And my biggest issue really is that all of a sudden this woman is now looking at me. I'm going to die and go to hell while she's nestling up to JC's bosom. How, she should be as equally upset with my issues as I am with hers, and she's not. That's just what's crazy. She's okay with a non-common reality that we share. She's okay that I go to hell, and she's going to be, eating grapes under palm leaves.
Oh, so the interesting thing is, at least in my experience as a believer and on the other side, it's not something that brings a lot of joy to Christians, that idea. I get what you're saying. That said, as much as you want to reach into her head and change some of these things, you can't. You just can't.
I know.
She's a person with her own autonomy, and she's going to exercise, and she has the right to it. That said, coming at it with a, hey, I love you and I'm worried because this is something that's deeply affecting me. You do have the right to that. You do have the right to your feelings. You do have the right to your concerns, and you can't force her to validate them either. So that's why I definitely think having kind of an intermediary, having a counselor help, could be really beneficial. That said, we get the same kind of calls and emails and stuff from a lot of people who have varying different types of personal close relationships, be them a spouse or an adult child, an uncle, a parent, grandparent, whatever the case is, you definitely, we've definitely seen this. It just it hurts. But you can't
Yeah.
reach in your head like that. What I can tell you is the idea. You should be upset that you are putting me in hell in your mind. While that hurts in your heart, it's not an effective way to change her mind.
Yeah, I
And
don't know. I mean, I just think of her,
I know,
these
I know,
crazy, stupid stories in her head that she treats as real. And I
but
don't think I can come back and say, look, how can, I'm not going to hell. I'm going to be in hell and you're going to be in heaven. How do you justify? I don't want to go there. This is stuff that just gets all messy and,
yeah,
convoluted. To me, it's like, what color is Casper's hat? It doesn't matter. It's all.
Put it to perspective. We all hold beliefs that are rational, right? She has hers, you have yours. I'm a Saints fan, okay? So if that doesn't tell you that we all hold irrational beliefs, so that should be the leveling playing field, right there, right? So you should be there for her, to support her and to encourage her in continued investigation, because what might end up happening, she dives deep into it, right? Not she's just goes hard in the paint, and then she goes, you know what? Not too happy with how the Catholic Church is treating abuse victims. Not too happy about a lot of their theology. Actually, there's a lot of this that's inconsistent. Yeah, I think there's a better way to approach how I view the world than to use religion, right? So that is a possible and a very realistic pathway that could happen. So, but what's going to help facilitate that is your continued support of her, and not to simply look down on her. Not saying that you are, but it takes an incredible amount of patience to be in a long-term relationship when you do have something that may end up being a divider between you two, when in reality it could be something that binds you. Her research and you helping her could make you a more knowledgeable non-theist. You see what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
um,
All right, my friends, I appreciate your time.
absolutely. Can I give you one last parting piece? Um,
Please.
One thing from my personal experience that I can give is unresolved issues that are left on the back burner become toxic. If you leave something,
I'm not going to.
if you leave something to
I don't lie
fester,
about that. You hit it on the head.
yeah, if you leave something like that, it's going to get worse. It's going to fester. You know, get some help. Get some help. Work on that. And I wish the best. I wish the best for you. I really do.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Thanks so much. Keep on keeping on, and I'm a fan. I'll see you guys next Sunday.
Thank you.
All right.
Take care, buddy.
See ya.
Yeah.
It's good. It's good to help people. Good help.
It is. I can't help but feel like a fraud. Really, in situations like that in particular. And I know that's silly because you don't need to have, Chikokwe, right? You don't need to be in a good relationship to understand what makes a good relationship.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's a balance. You want to offer help, but you don't want to step outside of your bounds or your experience and knowledge. And so it's a constant battle. Just kind of knowing kind of where your lane is in that moment, so that you can identify it and say, you know what, I can do better next time if I have X experience, and just work towards it.
Absolutely.